Hey everyone, so in this video, I want to share how I organize my phone for productivity, mental clarity, and digital minimalism. So as one of my friends recently put it, your phone is almost the remote control for your life at this point. The amount of time that we spend on our devices, and truth is, you're probably watching this video on your phone, at least statistically. Most people are watching this video on your phone. So having a phone that is organized and uncluttered, I think, is equally as important as having an apartment or a home that is organized and uncluttered. And if your phone is a total mess with hundreds of different apps all over the place and confusing, and I think that is a way to become stressed as a person as well. And I know that because my phone used to be cluttered with hundreds of different apps and it was all over the place and it was just a big mess. So I want to show you what my phone looks like now. I'm going to show you all the apps that I have on there. Each one serves a purpose. But a quick note here that you're going to find throughout this video that I really use my phone for utility. That's just personally what I choose to use my phone for. I don't really use it more than just for work or for messaging people or for utility purposes. So I don't really have any games on there. I don't really have much entertainment on there. That's just how I personally do it. That's certainly not to tell you that you shouldn't have fun things on your phone as well. That's just how I see it, okay? So don't take offense there if I don't have Netflix or any other games or anything on there. So let's go ahead, let me get into this. I wanna first talk about notifications. We'll talk about my lock screen, my home screen, and then each of the individual apps. All right, so let's start off with the background and the lock screen on my phone. So as you can see, I choose to have a black lock screen and a background. And although this might look pretty boring, I choose to do this for two different reasons. So the first is because it draws the least amount of energy from my phone, so my battery lasts longer. If this was a white background, it would draw more energy. So black, just a lot more conservative there. And then also, the other reason is because I don't have a dog or a wife to have as my background. So yeah, it's just black, and it's been like that for a couple of years, and it's really simple, but that's what I choose to do. Now, you'll also notice that I don't have any notifications right here on the home screen, and that's because most of my notifications are off. Now, I'm also in airplane mode right now because I'm up in the mountains and I don't have good service. So whenever I have spotty service, I just put it in airplane mode and it saves my battery from just trying to find cell towers all the time. But I usually don't have many notifications on my phone, and I choose to do this because if you think about the amount of notifications that the average person might be getting, let's say once every 10 minutes you get a notification, that's going to distract you and kind of just like break your line of thought, your train of thought at any given point. So if you're reading a book or you're studying for school or you're working on a project and you constantly have your phone buzzing and vibrating and reminding you all the time, it just kind of breaks things apart. And I don't think it's very good. So I really don't have notifications on my phone besides a few different apps. So I put my phone into work mode. And so what this does is it allows me to set certain people who can contact me. So example, family and some very close friends or very close people that I want to be able to access me at any point. And then also some specific apps like FaceTime, Google Calendar, Notes, Signal, timers, things like that, I'll have set up for work mode. And I have that pretty much running 24/7. So I don't get distracted very often from anything. And my goal is to have my phone vibrate and notify me as few times as possible throughout the day. Now, let's start off by looking at my phone here. I have 3 different pages of apps. I'll go over each one of these different apps and why I have it on my phone. But what you do notice right off the bat is how really utility focused my phone is. And once again, that's just my personal preference. So I don't have a lot of entertainment or gaming on here. But let's start off with the bottom ones here. So phone, yes, I have notifications for that. Messages, this gives me a lot of anxiety right here, 436 unread messages. There's not much I can do about this besides maybe change my number or get a second phone. I don't really know what to do. But yeah, I'm not perfect. Not sure how to do that because I don't want to miss messages either. And then email, I used to not have on my phone, but I recently downloaded email, and now I have it on my phone for really one main reason. It's just for like 2-factor authentication or if I just need to check something quickly. But the key here that you'll notice is that I don't have any notifications for email. I think this is like the first thing you should turn off for notifications. Just turn this off and check your email once a day at the end of the day or maybe in the morning. That's how I set it up. I just check it once a day on my computer, but I just have it as a backup here on my phone in case I need it. And then of course, just the camera app that I use all the time. So going from the top here, I have my notes, where I have ideas, video checklists, just different tasks that I need to do for the week. I use this most often on my phone, just kind of like as a big board of stuff that I can just throw thoughts and ideas onto. So that's what I use my phone most for. Of course, still journal a lot on like physical journals and paper. And then a lot of these other apps are pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to go over the Google apps. Signal is a messaging app that I use pretty often. It's one of my favorites because of the security on it. So they don't tend to store your messages on servers for very long periods of time. So I think it's one of the best apps for like secure end-to-end messaging there. Slack I use for a couple businesses that I'm a part of that I need to just be tied in with. WhatsApp, here's a fun fact. I've learned that people outside of the United States tend to use WhatsApp. So I use WhatsApp for all of my European friends and South America, Asia, pretty much everywhere outside of the United States. A lot of people use WhatsApp. But in the United States, like, especially if you were born in the US, I really rarely meet anybody who uses that. Everybody in the US tends to use SMS or just like the iMessage thing down here. Just a fun little fact that I've noticed over time. And then ClickUp is something that I use for task management, for managing employees and everything that maybe I'll talk about in a future video. So let's go ahead and go on to the second page here. And so the first thing you'll notice here is the big Google Maps widget. I choose to have this as a large widget because, of course, I use it very often, but I also think it's important because let's say that you're biking somewhere, or maybe you're driving somewhere, you're at a red light, and you need to quickly just type something into Google Maps to see where you're going. I like to have a big widget so I can just easily access Google Maps instead of having like a tiny little app icon somewhere. So really do think this one's pretty important. Then you'll see other ones like utilities, photos, Uber. I don't think we need to talk about those. iOverlander is a really great app for anyone who is doing some camping. So I've been living in my truck for a little bit, so I can go on this app and I can see all the different campsites around. Like if I want to look at some ones around Aspen, people just upload these. It's basically crowdsourced and they say where they've camped. And yeah, great app for that if you ever do any camping. Then you'll notice I have 4 finance apps here. Now, truth be told, I probably could have 100 different finance apps on my phone. I've tried almost all of them out because of my videos on my channel. I make a lot of finance videos, but I only have 4 on my phone right now at the moment. I choose to do most of my online banking and most of my investing and everything else on my desktop. I separate that from my phone, but I do have a couple here. Robinhood I use just to check prices of stocks throughout the day in case I need to just check out very quickly. Fundrise is an app that I really like, and this is actually the sponsor for today's video, so let me just briefly share what Fundrise is and why I like this company. So Fundrise is an investing platform that allows you to invest into real estate without having to do the heavy lifting yourself. So personally, I didn't want to have to go out and find properties and then buy them and then find tenants and then go and unclog their toilets when the tenants have problems. I didn't want to have to deal with that, so I chose to invest my money through a platform like Fundrise, which really just streamlines the process of investing into real estate. They have a really simple, really smooth app that I think you would really like. So let me just show you around here a little bit. You can go to fundrise.com/NateO'Brien or click the link in the description below if you want to check it out. But here's just some of the really great features about it. So they have 5 different plans. They have something like a starter plan all the way up to a premium plan. So we have starter, we have basic, we have core, which is what most people do. It's a $5,000 investment minimum. And then we have the advanced plan and then the premium plan for the big heavy hitters with $100,000 investment minimum on that. But with each one of these different plans, you get a number of different features that I think are really incredible, and I've really been happy with the results and the features within this app. And so just for example, like you get access to the Fundrise IPO when it comes out, if you're part of the core plan, right? That's just one small example there of things that are available. Now, I want to quickly talk about the management fees and the other fees associated, because I think this is really important, and I think this is really great with Fundrise. A 0.15% annual advisory fee is incredibly low, and up to 0.85% as an annual asset management fee is also incredibly low. Trust me, I've spent a lot of time talking to people in the industry, in real estate investing, and these fees are extremely low. I haven't seen anybody with lower fees personally, and so that's why I think Fundrise is a really great platform to start investing into real estate. But if you want to go check out the app, you can just go to fundrise.com/NateO'Brien and sign up for Fundrise. I highly suggest it. I use this app myself. So thanks Fundrise for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now let's continue on with the rest of the video. All right, and then additionally we have things like KuCoin, which is great for checking the price of crypto, also buying and selling if I wanted to, and then Yada Savings, LinkedIn, Audible, SoundCloud, Spotify. A lot of these are also pretty straightforward. And then I do have 2 social apps on here. So I have Instagram and I have Twitter. Instagram is the one that I bet that if I make this video next year, I probably won't have this on my phone. It's just, I don't really like it too much, but I feel like I kind of need it because I make videos and so I need to update people and I have some followers on there. So I do use Instagram primarily as a messaging app as well for a lot of my friends. But I try not to have notifications on there. Sometimes they pop up in the background. Like if someone tags me in a post, they'll pop up in the background, but they won't give me like a big buzzing notification on my phone. Twitter, I absolutely love this app. I just started using it recently. Go ahead, follow me on there. Seriously, like if you want any investing ideas or anything, I post so much on Twitter. It's my new favorite app, really. There's just so many smart people on there that you can connect with, and I just really love it. CNBC and Wall Street Journal, this is where I get my news from. Now, let's move on to the next page here, which is the third one. And there's only a couple of apps on here. And you're probably noticing a trend like, Nate, you don't have very many apps on your phone. Did you just go and delete all the apps before you made this video? And no, so what I do is I have a rule of thumb that if I use an app less than once a week, I will delete it. And then if I just need it again, I'll re-download it. So for example, I have American Airlines on here because I fly this airline very often. I don't have United, I don't have Frontier, I don't have Spirit, I don't have Norwegian or Lufthansa or any of these others because I don't use them very often. And look, if I need an app, I'll just download it and then I'll use it, and then I'll delete it as soon as I'm done with it. Instead of having just an app graveyard of 100 different apps, that really clutters my phone, bogs it down, slows it down, and I would rather just delete apps if I use them less than once per week. Telegram, another thing just for messaging. There's so many different messaging apps. It's kind of annoying, but I need all of them for business and for work and for other things. WeWork, I absolutely love WeWork membership. So I use that and I have to book spaces on my WeWork app here. And then Discord, I'm in a couple of different groups there as well. Now, I guess if we go over one more, we'll see some other apps. Most of these have already been on my home screen, so we've talked about pretty much all of them, but that's just kind of like an unorganized thing that I never go over to. Okay, so I hope you found this video to be helpful. And of course, look, this is not a prescription for you. Everybody's gonna have different priorities, things that they're interested in. So this is just simply what I have on my phone. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it valuable, and I'll see everybody in next week's video.